Um, Obviously, I was pleased with the first half. I was upset that we got the ball inside the 10 and ended up settling for a field goal against a really good team. You can't do that. I was pleased with the way that we ran the ball in the first half. We were balanced on offense, which we needed to be against what I think is a really good opponent. I know the question everybody's going to ask is why can we not come out faster in the second half? And if I had an answer for that standing here right now, it would not have happened. I have a hunch. I think that we have some success. I think that guys get excited, say, "Oh boy, we're in great shape. Let's go win this game." And I think we try to do too much. Somebody sticks their nose in a gap where it shouldn't be, and instead of everybody just doing their job, and it's not malice, it's not insubordination, it is guys just getting excited, trying to make plays, our eyes get in the wrong place, and the ball gets out on us. And we've got to do a better job. And look, all three phases of the game let us down at some point tonight, but clearly we've got to defensively, get this fixed as to why we can contain the run and stuff it for quarters at a time, and then all of a sudden balls get out on us, and it's simply we've got to get it fixed. I thought in the second half, offensively, too many self-inflicted wounds. We would get silly penalties that would put us behind the chains. Guys would fall down in the run game. We wouldn't block a frontside linebacker. We'd miss a block and get hit in the backfield on 1st and 10. Now it's 2nd and 12. We can't do that. And certainly against a quality opponent like this, we can't be one-dimensional and just sit back there and throw it, because they have really good edge rushers. So it's the tale of two halves. I make no excuses for it. We're going to just simply work to get it fixed. I told the team the first thing that's going to happen tomorrow is that we're going to go in and watch this tape honestly and critically. First is coaches. What can we do better? What can we do to give our kids a better chance to succeed? And then we have to watch it critically as players. If guys can't understand that they can't do their own stuff, we just have to stay within the system. Mistakes are going to happen. I don't have a problem with that. We're going to miss tackles. We're going to miss blocks. That's okay. That's football. But when a guy's got a responsibility to play, if he refuses to play it, then we need to make a change. And we'll do that. And that's just the story of it at this point. There's a lot of good to take away from this right now, but it's hard because we got so outplayed in the second half. But we came out, we competed our tails off. We played really well in the first half. I've got to figure out how we got to get this thing fixed to make sure that we can put two halves together. And we got no time to feel sorry for ourselves, because we have our biggest rival coming into our stadium next week. I understand the importance of trying to keep that cannon blue. Our team understands it. We know how important it is to our fan base and our alumni base, and we're simply going to put our heads down and go back to work so that we can try and keep that thing up in Reno.
Did you see any sort of adjustments that they made at halftime that they were doing defensively to
No,
stop the run?
I did not. I did not. I thought they played better and harder in the second half than we did. But they did not do, I'm watching it, they did not do schematically anything different in the second half. Offensively, they did. They were clearly more committed to the run in the second half, trying to get Ajayi going. And the offense doesn't change significantly when the backup comes in, but the option becomes a major role because he's the guy that runs the option for them. And a couple times he gets out on us because one guy puts their eyes in the wrong place and gets nosy and look, we talked about the option. It's not like it shocked us. We knew when 9 was in there, option football was going to be a factor.
What did you tell the defense then, after Southwick goes out on the first play? What's the message at that point?
Is to everybody just keep doing their job. The halftime message, that message on the sideline was not magic, was that if we could stop the run and account for the quarterback as an option player, then we could let our pass rushers loose on third down, which we did, by the way, and I felt like got good pressure. We got good pressure in third and long. The problem was they ran it effectively in the second half, and we didn't get that many opportunities to get them behind the chains and let our guys up front tee off.
Trying to get the run game going all year, was Jeffers a key part of that? Was Connor coming back, adding depth a key part of that? What made that work? What made that tick today?
I can't answer that, to be honest with you, at this point. I mean, that's really a question when you talk about why are you able to get things done in the interior. I can't tell you until I look at the tape. It's too hard from the sideline. I'm pleased, and I can't wait to find out why we were able to do it better, but I don't want to give you a bad answer right now until I get a chance to watch the tape.
Those third quarter issues, I mean, is that a mental block, do you think, at all for the players, knowing that, you know, third quarter has been an issue so far in some of the games this season?
I don't know. Like I said before, if I had the answer to this riddle, it wouldn't be a riddle at this point. I mean, we've tried a couple different things. I tried today to keep everybody calm, that bouncing off the walls at halftime was not going to help us win the game, to just remind everybody to just do their job and keep their poise. I'll give you a great example. Okay, and this is my failure, but we have a player that gets hurt, and he tries to get off the field instead of simply going down. And as we try to make the sub, Boise plays fast, they snap the ball. We have 10 guys on the field, we have one running on, and they run the ball, and we're missing an inside linebacker. I need to do a better job to make sure that our guys know, if you're hurt, go down. We'll sub you out. But we can't play with 10 players missing an inside linebacker as they're handing the ball to a 6', 220-pound back in the gap where we're missing the linebacker. Those are the silly mistakes that as coaches and players, we've got to get those things fixed. And it's symptomatic. Penalties that put us, this is 2 weeks in a row now, a false start. You know, last week in overtime, this week down in the red zone. No, we were able to overcome it, but we got to cut this stuff out. And it starts with me, and I understand that.
Is there some optimism, though? You played a half with UCLA, a half with Florida State, a half with Boise State. I mean, it seems
at some point that stuff becomes hollow. It really does. At some point it becomes hollow. I mean, why couldn't we finish this game? There's no reason. There's no reason. And we're as a staff, as the head coach, and as players collectively, we're going to get to the bottom of it, and we're going to get it fixed, because we've got some real teams on our schedule. Each week is going to be a challenge, and I've got to get to the bottom of why, why can we stand toe-to-toe with the number 5, number 9 team in the country and come up here against a really good football team and have a 10-point lead at the half? Why can we do that and not sustain it? I've got to figure that out.
So have you tried different kind of halftime speeches to?
I've tried different practice schedules. I took them off the field on a Thursday halfway through the practice, brought them in and sat them down in the locker room and said, okay, this is halftime. We've got to go back out. Are we physically strong enough to sustain? Are we mentally strong enough to sustain? I don't know. I'm gonna get it figured out, though. I promise you.
Are the players as upset as you are?
Yes. Yes. Because they care. I'm not telling you these guys are bad guys. I'm not selling the players out. Please understand me. But we're in a production business. And if you won't do what like I told you before, missed tackles happen. That's what we get paid for. Missed blocks, stuff happens. That's football. But if you're supposed to be on the quarterback, if they run option and you're in the B gap, then that's a problem. And if we have to make changes, we will make them. But again, I'm accountable. The coaches are accountable. It starts with us. But at some point, we just got to do our jobs and stop trying to make everybody's play. Just do our job. And that, believe it or not, people are not going to believe me. The story of tonight's game is if we would simply just do our jobs and stop shooting ourselves in the foot, these self-inflicted wounds, it would be, I think, very different. So, thanks.
Lenny, obviously you go into halftime with a nice lead, and then the second half happens. What's kind of been the issue in the third quarters and halftime your losses this year?
I feel like we come out a little flat, and then team scores, and then people get a little down, and you know, we got to figure out a way to come out the second half like we do in the first half, and that's on us. We really got to figure that out.
Is it getting frustrating that it's kind of the same theme in all these losses, and you know it's not different every time?
Yeah, it's frustrating, especially for it to be the same thing, and I mean, you just got to find a way. But I think we'll get it.
And you guys held the run pretty well in the first half. Did they make any halftime adjustments that you could kind of tell as the second half went on?
They switched up a little bit, but I mean, we got to make tackles and we got to make plays. But I mean, give them credit; they're a good running team, but we got to make a couple more plays.
You went down in the third quarter. Was that a knee or what happened?
Yeah, somebody dove into my knee or something, but I'm good.
How did the game change when Southwick went out on the first play? How did the game change for you guys?
We didn't get word until like the second quarter that he was on crutches or whatever. But I mean, same game plan.
Hedrick is more of a runner than a thrower. Did that make you guys change your strategy a little bit?
Yeah, with Southwick, he's giving the ball in the read option. With 9, you have to respect him running, so that it just changed up a little bit for the defensive ends.
Polian was saying guys aren't, they're trying to do other people's jobs and not really focusing on their own. Can you talk about, what the urge is to do that as a player, maybe just to make a play? Or
Sometimes guys see things, and sometimes it works in practice, and then you think it's going to work in the game. But what you see in practice is a lot slower than what happens in the game. So when you try to do somebody else's job, it's not going to happen like the same way it happened in practice. But we just got to fix those little things, and we'll be all right.
Lenny, is there like anything that you're going to say to like your teammates on the plane right back? I mean, just to like bring it back up for homecoming. It's a pretty important week too.
Yeah, I mean, this Saturday is a big game. Not on the plane. We come in tomorrow, watch film, talk about it. We'll talk about a couple things. I mean, like Polian tells us, what's on film is your resume. So once we watch film, we'll be able to say what we need to say, and we'll be back up ready for UNLV.
Joel, you guys really got the run game going really strong there in the second quarter. Can you tell me what was working there?
We had some outside zone plays going, and we hit a few of them, and then they didn't really adjust too well, so we were pounding it up there, and then we changed it up with a couple powers, and it was just finally working for us a little bit. We actually felt good. We felt like we were running the ball well, and it was a good first half. We ran the ball well in the first half. We were real happy with our first half performance.
Did you see any adjustments that they made in the second half? What changed?
A little bit. They were flowing a little better. They kind of saw it a little bit better. They outplayed us in the second half. The same blocks we were making in the first half, the O-line wasn't quite making, the tight ends weren't quite making. We were just a couple seconds late.
I mean, if you had to finger one thing on why you guys have struggled in third quarters and second halves in your losses, I guess what do you think it would be?
If I knew, I'd probably play a lot better in the third quarter. It's a tough one. They're making better adjustments than us right now, and when we come out and we see what they're doing, we haven't been able to adjust as quickly as they've been adjusting. So they just have kind of been beating us to it. It's a whole team thing. The same plays that were working in the first half weren't working as well in the second half, and we didn't fix it.
When you look at the first halves of these games, though, I mean, does it give you some optimism that you can play with some really good teams for a half, and if you could just stretch it out over a game, I mean, you guys could be a pretty good team.
Yeah, I mean, we know we have the potential. We know we can play with these guys. Every team we've played with, we've been in the game in the first half, and just, yeah, we know we have the potential. We just need to string together a third quarter, string together a fourth quarter, and I think we'll be able to. I think we got UNLV next week, and it's going to be a big game like always, and we're ready to move on to that one now.
Is it maybe a depth or a youth thing? Younger guys aren't as strong as maybe 22, 23-year-olds. Is it conditioning?
I wouldn't say it's conditioning. Maybe depth. We're a pretty young team overall, and maybe some of the guys get content with the first half or something like that. We try and stress in the halftime adjustments. Come out with the same fire, come out ready. They're going to do something different. We got to just be ready for it, keep your head up and stuff like that. And we just haven't been able to capitalize. I don't know what it is.
You guys have the same kind of conditioning this year as you did in years past?
Oh yeah. I feel good. I feel best shape of my life right now. I feel good.
Cody, can you just kind of address? You guys were doing so great in the first half. What changed in the second half offensively?
You know, I think we just we kind of settled a little bit. We knew that we can run the ball on them, and they made some great adjustments at halftime, and they came out fired up, and you know they never quit. We knew it wasn't going to be easy, and I think a little bit on offense we settled a little bit, and we were kind of content with where we were at.
Were there adjustments that you were able to see, or did you maybe not see them until after the ball was snapped? Or?
You know, I think it was just more, they came out with more energy. We thought they'd come out flat, and they definitely didn't. Their defense line came in, and they're really excited to be out there again, and just, you know, they did a number on us.
How do you explain why you guys were able to really get the run game going in the first half?
You know, I think it was just we were ready to play, and the offensive line knew that we wanted to open up the run game because it's been struggling the past couple weeks, and that'll help the passing game. And so they did an awesome job all night, you know, just, you know, understanding what they got to do and where they had to go.
And this team has really struggled getting off to a good start against Boise in years past. You guys did it this year. Does that make it even more frustrating that you weren't able to hold on?
Yeah, you know, anytime you're winning the game and then you don't score any points in the second half, that's going to be frustrating, especially for playing offense like I do. You know, I'm just, you know, we're all frustrated that we came out and we didn't put up any points in the second half. You know, the defense did a great job. They, you know, gave us a chance to win the game, and we didn't execute.
Each of the losses, I mean, you guys have struggled in the second half. Is there anything, you know, as a captain of the team, a leader, that you think you guys can do differently to turn that tide?
You know, I think we just got to everyone account for themselves. You know, each other account for each other. There's not much you can really say about it. Just come out with some fire. I think we just settle, like I said before, is, you know, we understand we're winning, and, you know, we kind of get content with what we're doing out there. So I think we just got to come out and just emphasize that it's a whole nother half. You know, scoreboard 0-0 no matter what it is.
So Cody, I mean, you guys are going to chew on this game tape tomorrow, but I mean, you know, this next week is homecoming at UNLV. I mean, what does that kind of like mean to you guys, and then, you know, going forward with this loss in the backseat?
It's got to be a short memory for sure, especially with UNLV coming up. That's a big game for the University of Nevada, obviously, and so we're really excited about that. You know, it's going to be a sold-out game. You know, we're going to get a good crowd behind us, so it's good to see that the fans are still supporting us, even though we struggled the last two games. So we're really excited to be out there and, you know, just hopefully keep that cannon blue.
Yeah, and then, you know, you talk about the frustration, and I mean, is that going to be like even an extra emphasis in like this next week, just, you know, beat up UNLV?
Yeah, you know, I feel sorry for whoever the next opponent is. You know, when you're frustrated, you're going to come out and do some things, and, you know, you're going to be chippy, and that's what we're going to do come this next week. So UNLV or not, whoever we were playing next was probably going to get it.